I was scrolling a late-night horror forum around 2:30 a.m., the kind where people trade urban legends and creepy screenshots. One user posted, "If you want to see something real, click this. Don't watch too long." The link looked broken, just a string of numbers. I clicked it anyway, but listen to this. Instead of a 404 error, a live stream opened. The frame was dark and grainy, like an old security camera. One chair sat in the middle of a small, dimly lit room. I waited, expecting a jump scare. Instead, someone walked in. They moved slow, like they were underwater. The figure was human, thin, average height, wearing a plain hoodie. Their face was hidden in shadow as they sat down and stared into the camera. "Let's talk about you," they said. I almost closed the tab. Then they began describing things. "You lost your favorite pen in 3rd grade, the one with the blue grip. You keep the movie ticket from your first date in a box under your bed. You almost drowned in a neighbor's pool when you were 6. My stomach dropped. I'd never told anyone that last one. I typed in the chat, "Who are you?" No reply. Just the same calm voice listing memories I hadn't shared online. Memories that had no photographs, no witnesses. The screen glitched. For a split second, white numbers replaced the video feed. Coordinates. I didn't recognize them, but instinct made me copy them down. I pasted them into Google Maps. It gets worse. The map zoomed in on my building. My apartment. The feed came back. The figure tilted their head, almost smiling. "You're wondering if you should look outside. Go ahead, I'll wait." I didn't move. They leaned closer to the camera. "You think your door is locked?" That was enough. I shut the laptop. I stood in the dark for a long time, listening. No sound but the refrigerator hum. My apartment door was locked. I tried to distract myself with music, but my phone buzzed. A notification. Live feed started. 404 room not found. It was the same stream, same chair, same person. But now the room was brighter, and behind the figure taped to the wall was a sheet of paper. On it, in blocky letters, was my name. The voice came again. "I'll tell you something you don't remember." I wanted to close the feed, but I couldn't. And that's when I realized I was in real danger. "When you were 9, they said, you woke up one night to someone standing in your doorway. They left before you turned on the light." The paper with my name fell to the floor. They stood, walked to the edge of the frame, and for the first time stepped out of view. The camera didn't follow. Instead, the angle shifted, like another camera had switched on. It showed my apartment, my living room, my open laptop, still connected to the feed, and then my bedroom door. The voice came from my speakers, loud as a siren. "Don't bother locking it." I woke up to over 50 Discord pings. "Dude, what the hell was that last night? Bro, you freaked me out. Was that real?" I hadn't streamed in weeks. My capture card was unplugged, and my Twitch channel was practically dead. But that's when things started to unravel. When I opened my Twitch inbox, there were hundreds of new followers and a flood of clips titled things like "WTF and he lost it on stream." I clicked one. It was my room, my desk, my chair, and me. Same clothes I'd worn 2 nights ago. Same headset, except I wasn't playing anything. I was just staring at the camera, breathing slow. My lips moved, but the voice that came out was wrong. That's when I realized I'd made a huge mistake opening the clip. It had my tone, my cadence, but it was deeper, like someone was speaking through me. "Do you hear it yet?" the other me said. The clip ended there. I scrolled through more. In one, my double turned slowly in the chair, looking at the empty wall behind him, as if something were there. In another, he leaned so close to the lens that his pupils seemed too big, whispering something I couldn't catch. And then I noticed something else. The timestamps. The streams had started at 3:17 a.m. each night. The time I was asleep. That's when the fear really set in. I locked my door that night. shut down my PC, and unplugged the webcam. The next morning, there were more clips. My door was open in them. My webcam was on. And then it got worse. In one clip, he was standing now, half out of frame, pacing. At one point, he bent down until only his mouth was visible. "I'm almost there," he whispered. My stomach turned cold. I deleted my Twitch account, pulled the plugs from every outlet in my room, put my webcam in a drawer. But it wasn't over, not even close. The third night, I still got messages. This time, the clips were longer. My double sat back in my chair, grinning. Not my grin, but too wide, too many teeth showing. The angle had changed. The camera was now slightly tilted toward my bed, but something wasn't right. And there I was, in the background, asleep. The comments on the stream were losing their minds. Wait, is this fake? Is he pranking us? Is that a body? My double reached toward the lens. His hand seemed to stretch further than it should, like the frame couldn't contain it. "I see you," he said, not to the chat, to someone else. The fourth night, I set an alarm for 3:10 a.m. and stayed awake, baseball bat in hand. I kept my eyes on the webcam drawer. At 3:17, the monitor flickered on. The webcam light turned red. I was still in my chair. My double was already standing behind me. I turned. Nothing. When I looked back at the monitor, his face filled the frame. "Your turn," he said. The stream went black, and now I can't stop it. Every night at 3:17 a.m., I wake up in my chair, my throat raw from speaking in a voice that isn't mine. And each morning, there are more clips, more followers, and the comments, they're all people I know, asking for more, craving violence, begging to watch me suffer. Forever. I found the forum because I like old typewriters. People post photos of machines and talk about ribbons. One night, a new direct message popped up. The sender's name was Mr. Underscore. But check this out. The typing dots showed on my screen. They never stopped. Not for minutes, not for hours, just pulsing, like a heartbeat. I messaged back, "Hello?" Words started to appear. Slowly, one at a time. "You take the cap off your mug. You set it down. You rub the cut on your thumb." I froze. I had a small cut on my thumb that nobody knew about. The dots kept pulsing. I typed, "Who are you?" The answer came after a long pause. "Because I am already here. Turn around when the typing stops." My hands got cold. I stood up. The apartment was quiet. The old Remington sat on the bench. The window was dark. The typing dots didn't stop. I set my phone on the bookshelf so it would record my back. I wanted proof. I hit record and sat down facing the screen. It gets crazier. The message kept writing. It described small things I did. You tap your foot. You bite your lip. The sentences were always a step ahead of me, like a voice reading my actions as I did them. After an hour, the feed wrote, "You will look away for one breath." I didn't look away. I kept my eyes on the chat. The dots pulsed slower, then stopped. Silence on the screen. No dots, no message. My heart wanted to race, but I forced it slow. The screen was black for a second. Then the words appeared. "Now." My mouth felt dry. I turned, but what I saw next changed everything. A man sat in the corner, where there had been only boxes a minute before. He was thin. His face was pale in the lamplight. He had an old typewriter on his lap. His fingers hovered over its keys. He looked up. He smiled, but not like a friendly smile. It was small and patient. The man moved his hands and typed once. I heard the typewriter's single, sharp clack, even though the apartment had been quiet all night. I yanked my phone from the shelf. I looked at the recording. The camera caught him exactly as I saw him. He hadn't been in the room before the dots stopped. The footage showed him step into the corner, sit, and begin to tap the keys. "You won't believe this." On the chat, a new line appeared. "Thank you. My phone buzzed with an image. It was the photo Mr. had sent. It showed me in my chair. The man in the corner looked at the camera and waved. Behind him, on the wall, a message was typed in, uneven ink. Meet me where the typing stops. I stood up, and the man smiled and typed another word. The key clicked like a small gun. The sound reached my chest. "Who are you?" I asked out loud. He didn't answer with words. He typed, "You will know soon." I backed toward the door. My hands shook. The man didn't move. He kept typing. Pay attention to this part. I opened the door and left the apartment. Outside, the air felt sharp. I called the forum admin. He checked the logs and said he could not find an IP address for Mr. Several other forum users had the same dots. The dots never stopped on their screens either. I went home the next day with a friend. The corner was empty. No typewriter. No man. My video file was still there. It showed him clearly. The ink on the wall was gone. That night, back home alone, I left my phone on the shelf and sat at the table. The typing dots blinked in my messages. They never stopped. And from somewhere in the apartment, a typewriter clicked. Thanks for listening. Now close your eyes and sleep.